What's going on, guys? We are here after day one of the 2023 uSports Men's Volleyball Championships. This is Everett Delorme, joined by my good friend Francis Maheu, who's on the French broadcast for uSports. We're going to do a little bit of a breakdown of day one, the quarterfinals, and get you ready for the semifinals tomorrow. But first and foremost, Francis, What did you think of day one here?
It was pretty exciting. We were early on with a really strong game from Toronto, actually. The Varsity Blues came out real strong from the blocks, actually won the first set of the day against Alberta, who was kind of searching for their own soul. Quickly found it again, actually, and they won the next three sets. It was a really strong game from them, but they were not able to follow the hype of the first set.
No. For a little bit they were. You know, in that second set, they were leading quite a bit into deep, and then Alberta, as you said, found their soul, found their game. There was a moment where there was just, you could feel the momentum shift in the gym. Alberta got it going again. Of course, the defending champs, the number one seed, they got the job done in four sets. But ultimately, if I'm Coach John Barrett and I'm a U of T fan, I'm happy about how my team played.
You got to be proud from the work of your guys there. They were always there in that game. I must say, however, that Alberta was missing a lot of serves. They were trying to put pressure on Toronto, and it kind of showed. A lot of errors, should I say? I'm sorry, it's the end of the day, and my second language is quite rough sometimes.
You've commentated 4 games.
4 games in a row,
yeah.
And we're doing the same tomorrow, so we'll go early in bed and no drinking tonight.
No.
But yeah, it has to be like a proud feeling for John Barrett. Even though they were in this game, they could have done a little bit better. They could have maybe make this game a 5-set game. They were actually really close, but hats off to Alberta and Jordan Canham, who had like a crazy good game.
Yeah.
Crazy from the 3-meter line. He's just unstoppable.
Yeah, Jordan Canham, Player of the Year, went off 31 points. Not entirely sure what it was, but it was up there. I mean, he had 17 points after the first 2 sets.
It was crazy.
Which was unreal. He was the only Golden Bear that was doing anything of note, but luckily they managed to figure it out. But also big shout out to Evan Filardo, the OUA Player of the Year, who really held things together for U of T. And U of T just never went away. They continued to fight and to fight. They reminded me of an RCQ team from Quebec out there.
Yeah.
Just never giving up.
Yeah, and about Evan Filardo, who was clearly the dynamo of that team. He was doing everything on the serve. He was digging a lot of balls, was attacking from every position on the floor. He had a wonderful, wonderful game. And I can't wait to see what his future will be, because this guy will play somewhere else, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as we talked to him yesterday, that's his goal as well.
Yep.
Looking up to match number 2, a bit of a stinker. It was the 4-5 match. It's the one we thought, generally that 4-5 match is the most highly contested, but the Sherbrooke Montreal, what, they were ranked number 2 all year. They probably should have been ranked number 2, but how these nationals ranking goes sometimes.
Yep.
They went down 4-1 early in the first, and then never looked back as they took control of that game completely and blew the pants off of the Windsor Lancers.
Yeah, I'll be honest, this team oozed confidence.
Oozed.
It's just crazy. It comes from the coach himself.
Oh, yeah.
We saw him, Fatih Abid, yesterday. He was really confident into their own strength. They don't really showed any flaw during that game. They were really in control even when they were down early on in the first set. Never looked back from then. Just playing so strong. It is a sturdy team. They are super large on the net. And you got to give it to Julien Vanier, who was really strong during the first part of that first set, where they were actually losing quite a bit, and then he came in with some good serves and some good blocks. It is a complete team. It could be. It's not even a dark horse at this point. It's not an upset.
Absolutely not.
They have a real shot tomorrow against Alberta. It's going to be close, super close.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but you're not wrong. And last year they surprised everyone but themselves by winning the RCQ.
Yeah, they know what they can do.
And then they came in. And, I kind of wrote them off against Toronto in the first round last year, and they blew the pants off of them, ended up winning the bronze medal, which was absolutely massive for that program.
They're showing that it's not a fluke.
Absolutely not. They went 15-1 in the regular season, won the RCQ handedly, and now came in and basically the most decisive win of today was hands down Sherbrooke over Windsor.
And they were serving with an intention of hurting the opponent. Didn't do so well in that department. When we talked with the coach afterwards, he told me that it was the game plan, but we didn't we didn't do well in that department.
Yeah.
So we'll see tomorrow what happens. It's a lot of missed serve between those two teams in their first round. I expect like quite a scrappy game on the serving line.
100%.
They're gonna try to put the opposition in difficulty at every single point. So you might see a lot of errors, but it's gonna be a really physical game. A lot of tall guys into these two teams. I'm quite stoked. I'm quite hyped for that game.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
me
big
too.
guy kind of game.
100%. Yohan David was unreal. His first 3 swings were all, I'm pretty sure they dented the floor here at the Burridge.
I mean, it's sad for Windsor, who came in and there were no tourists. They wanted to play, but they didn't block him for the first maybe 2 or 3 attacks, and he was gaining confidence from that point. Yohan was he was feeling so strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for me, it all came down to Jonathan Portelance. It's one thing, I said it on the broadcast, it's one thing to watch these guys on film. It's completely different to see them in person. The way he runs that offense is so immaculate.
It's pinpoint accurate,
Yep.
and he didn't have a lot of hard balls to deal with because Guillaume Rivet at the libero position did an amazing job. But when that ball was a little bit too close from the net, when that ball was a little bit offset, he was always rotating it. And I remember one play where the ball was coming from his left side and he just kept on rotating through the jump and went all the way on the opposite line. It was just a perfect window pass. I mean, this guy shows his talent, and tomorrow is going to be a real good passing game against Cam, who's like, he played well, but I don't think that he played to the max of his potential.
No.
Jonathan did a crazy good job today. So,
absolutely.
I can't wait to see that game tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on to game number 3. It was the one that everyone was hyped for. The home team, McMaster Marauders, taking on the gritty Saskatchewan Huskies, and I don't think we saw the best of the Huskies in this one.
No, they came out a bit flat, and they were not in control, sadly. Their best 2 attackers were not killing a lot of balls early on, and it's sad because you could see that there was a lot of emotion into these guys. Maybe they were tired just a bit. It kind of showed in McMaster with the energy of the crowd. They were in total control.
Packed house here at the Burridge for that match, and you know what? We've talked about it. We just talked about it with Adam Schreimer, who's won a championship here, lost a championship here. It's
hard.
Tough to play Mac at Mac. The Burridge is legendary, and we saw it in full force. You mentioned Dylan Mortensen, all-time kills leader and points leader for the Canada West this year.
He had a rough game, let's be honest.
8 kills, 8 errors on 33 attempts, not great, 0% efficiency.
No.
And Levi Olson was a minus efficiency. He ended up getting subbed off.
Yeah, he got injured though, but he was playing well in that third set, did amazing plays, and then got injured like 2 or 3 plays after that. So I mean, it's not against Levi. He tried to bring emotion on into his team. Dylan had maybe a rough game, and I'm sure that he's quite mad at him for that kind of game because he knows he's got way much more talent than what we saw today.
100%.
Quite a bit sad for the Huskies, who did well. Wish him the best after that, crazy season. It was up and downs kind of season, and I hope that in the future they can stabilize everything and build on from there.
But on the other side of the net, McMaster was and to be honest, I've seen McMaster a few times this season. That's hands down the best they've looked. They came in focused, and it's funny, I asked them after the game, are you surprised that you were able to get out 3-0 against the Huskies? And right away, their steady Robbie Fujisawa was just like, no.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would
not.
have said yes, but these 3 guys, and even the coach was like, nope, we're not surprised. Maybe a little bit of a political answer and try to, show confidence, but I'm pretty sure that they were expecting at least a 4-sets game.
100%, yeah.
Went, totally different finally. They were dominating this game. Just taking control from the first play, never looked back, always in control. Fujisawa had a strong game. He was even blocking balls out of nowhere. Small guy, but jumping high. And no real star on that team. Maybe Brendan Mills, who had a really good game, but at the same time it was spread out, and they played well on defense. But playing on offense, it is a well-rounded game, a little bit like Sherbrooke did today.
Yeah,
and it really showed on the scoreboard in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the other most dominant win for sure, and they imposed themselves on Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan made 35 errors in that match, 22 offensively, 13 from the baseline.
Yeah,
that was a big one, but a lot of that was due to how much pressure McMaster was putting on, and also the environment that they had to play within.
Yeah, and they had a strong game, but not as strong of a game as they were waiting for from their center position. So their potential is not even maxed. And we saw them dominating Saskatchewan. Maybe the Huskies were not playing at 100% today, maybe injuries and stuff like that. But at the same time, it means that tomorrow against Trinity Western, they might even be better.
Yeah.
It's not quite crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. Now, wrapping things up, we saw the Trinity Western Spartans taking on. Can I say your Montreal Carabins?
Oh,
might as well.
Yeah, might as well up to this point.
Yeah.
We were their own team. Me and Vince, who was doing the French commentary with me today. We were with the Montreal University team for maybe 5 or 6 years. It was a tough game for Trinity Western.
It was.
I was expecting that, and I know that some of the guys in the media team, in the media room, were not expecting such a game from Montreal.
Yeah.
They were not supposed to win. They didn't win, so it makes sense. But they played with heart.
Yeah.
Played tough.
That first set, it went toe to toe, and in the second set, they were leading. Like they had a set point. They were up 24-22 in that third set.
Well, I mean, they were leading right off the bat, 5-1.
Yeah.
And they were showing emotion. And I told you right before the game, if they start to, let's say, lose 1-5, 1-6 early in the first set, it's over. It's going to be hard to come back because Trinity Western will build on that with their experience, with confidence. It's going to be hard to come back. But if you flip it around, you can build a game out of nothing. And that's what we saw. I mean, 2 out of those 3 sets in OT, 26-24, and then the last one, what was it, 28 or 29, 27?
Yeah. Something like that.
I mean, it was a rough and a tough game for Trinity Western. They were expecting that, but I'm not sure if they were really expecting that. You know, it's one thing to say that the RECQ teams are built tough and gritty. They might be not the tallest guy or strongest guy, but they play well and they play with heart. It's one thing to say it, but it's one thing to actually believe it. I think they were quite surprised. Not that they were taking them, for granted. It's just that they were actually better than expected, and they played tremendously. Actually, if Montreal played that way in the RECQ finals, it maybe could have gone totally differently.
Yeah, might have had a different seed.
Might have a different seed, and we saw the difference. If facing Trinity Western is hard, well, facing the Lancers today was not that hard.
Yeah.
So it made the biggest difference.
100%. But on the other side of the net, the Trinity Western Spartans, we've seen how many times have they been in the national final? It's not going to say that is expected, but it is expected. And we maybe didn't see the best game from them today, but still, Henry Rempel was fantastic for them on the right side.
Oh, yeah.
He's a weapon.
He is
a weapon.
He is high. He is strong. I think he always tried to demolish a wall in front of him. Yeah. It works.
He does not tip.
He does not tip. He did one roll shot, and it was really good. I think this guy needs to do more of that because against the taller blocking scheme in front of him with the tall guys of McMaster. I mean, at one point in one rotation, McMaster, the smallest guy, was, 6'7"? It's going to be a little bit harder for Henry tomorrow. So I would like him to be a little bit more, versatile in terms of offensive opportunities. But again, I mean, this team,
I don't think that's going to happen. I've watched Henry Rempel a little bit, even in his club days.
I'm wishing him the best then.
Yeah, he has one speed that he goes at, and
it's full throttle.
It's 13.
Yeah, it's 13 out of 10. But, I mean, it was a really good game. I should say Brady Hofer is just unstoppable from the pipe, jumping from the 3 meters. He's jumping so high. It's so hard to block, and he's got so much precision. I mean, he's just a tremendous player. But I must say that my favorite today was Jesse Elser.
Oh, yeah,
the
unicorn.
He was just doing it all. He was blocking. He was digging like crazy. He's 6'9", and he was digging 4 balls per set early on. He was out there doing everything, killing everything.
39 digs for Trinity Western in this one. That's a lot, especially for Trinity Western.
That is a lot, but Jesse was maybe not as explosive as Brody, but I think he was as important, if not more important, for Trinity Western today, and I think it's going to be super, super important that he plays that well tomorrow, and then possibly if they win tomorrow against McMaster in the finals.
Well, let's preview that one first. It's going to be the 6 o'clock game. Trinity Western taking on McMaster.
What a show.
That one, I mean, if you've been following us for a little bit, there's history there.
Yep.
16, they played in the final.
Yep.
18, they played in the semis. A bunch of other years, they've played each other at different stages.
Yeah, storied franchises. I mean, storied teams. It's going to be a crazy, crazy show. It's going to be packed, first of all. In here, it's already packed today, but it's going to be even crazier tomorrow. But I think the technical abilities of those two teams, when facing each other, it's so hard to say which one is the favorite. I don't think there is. I don't think you can really say.
No.
You can have a guess, a feeling. You can say, I think this or that could happen, but you cannot say with accuracy, this is going to happen, and whoever is going to win. No, it's impossible. It's going to be really a big, big, big showdown, technical showdown. I don't think it's going to be with as much strength as the other semifinal. This one is going to be really technical. It's going to be accuracy. It's going to be pipes that go in the corner of the opponent floor. I mean, I can't wait to see it. It's going to be two different semifinals, but I think we're ready for a big showdown tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to see a big game from Sam Cooper. He is the big gun on the McMaster side, and of course Brendan Mills, the second year, who's really come in and done some big things. But as we talked about it, McMaster's such a big team. They put up such a big block. That showdown in the middle is going to be big. And you know what? Trinity Western was pretty weak in the middle today. Corey Schauner didn't have his greatest matchup.
No, it was a bad one.
Yeah. So, Preston said in their interview afterwards that they need to be better in the middle tomorrow. And if they are, I think they can put up a serious fight against this Trinity Western team.
Yeah, and McMaster needs to be better in the center as well. I mean, Wojtek was there defensively, not so much offensively. Yes, you talk about Cooper, who was tremendous on offense, but Mills was doing it all. On defense, he had two amazing blocks in the second set. Like, we saw him, he turned around facing the crowd. He was
game-changing. Yeah.
Like, game-changing moments that you need tomorrow against Trinity Western.
TSN turning point a little bit, because they were trailing up until that point in the second set.
Yeah, and they came back after that. So, I mean, tomorrow is going to be those kind of plays that they'll have to do to get that crowd into it real early. I think if this ends up to be a 3-set or 4-set game, I would be surprised.
Yeah, me too, and especially too because the team hasn't talked about it, but we've talked about it a little bit. This is Preston's last show. Yep. This is Preston's last dance.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
He doesn't want to talk about it. He and I talked about it a little bit. You can check that interview out on the YouTube channel. Yep. But I know that the players know that in the back of their minds.
Yes.
And I think that's going to help them, especially tonight. They came out with a different intensity, and I think that's going to help them dig deep.
I think it's hard to win when your coach that you love so much is having his retirement after that. I mean, it's like it's something that you add on top of the cake. You don't need any more motivation. You want to beat Trinity Western. You want to be in front of your fans, and you got your coach who's going to retire at the end of the year. I mean, you got it all. What do you need more? I think those little things might put an edge on McMaster, but I cannot say Trinity Western are so strong technically.
Yeah, and historically as well, too.
It's going to be a fun game. I hope you tune in. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be a fun game, but you know what else is going to be a fun game? Oh. Green and gold versus green and gold.
That's going to be a muscle game.
Muscle game.
Tough guys.
Someone might get hurt. Like, someone might take a ball to the face and get hurt.
Yeah, I think you would have a concussion protocol situation tomorrow. It's a possibility. Yeah. These guys are just playing with muscle, with meat, with added proteins. It's going to be a real alpha male kind of game.
Yeah.
It's going to be really different.
Yoann David versus Jordan Canham.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
You're going to hear some loud bangs tomorrow.
That is going to be a banger of a match. Those two guys, they're men. Right? They hit the ball like men.
They are hitting like gentlemen, I should say, and they are they are really nice kids. We have been able to talk with them, yesterday during the media room tour, press conferences and stuff like that. And they are in the zone, but they are gentlemen first and foremost. Yeah. And then they are crazy good players. I remember seeing Yoann when we were doing the Cégep level challenge in Quebec, the championship, when it was at the Bois de Boulogne College, and Yoann was already that big. Like, he was taking a lot of space on the floor. Didn't have the best championship, but he was playing big. And then to see him today just controlling emotions like crazy. He had a wonderful game. But, I mean, Jordan Canham on the other side. Like, this guy is gonna turn pro, and there's no question about it, how strong he can be in his future. He's already playing like a pro. Yeah. He had a tough game on service, I should say.
Yeah.
He had one good rotation early in the first set.
Yeah,
but didn't serve that well later on. Even had two serves who were just, put back balls. And I talked with Brock after the game, the coach of Alberta, and he said, we just wanted to play at this point. We wanted them to play and make errors on the other side because we were not serving well. So, I believe that Jordan will come with a little bit extra motivation to do better tomorrow, and it's going to be explosive, man. There's going to be some fire on that field.
100%. I don't know if there's two more confident teams than Alberta and Sherbrooke. Even yesterday when we were talking to them in the media setting, you could just, Fedi Ahmed oozes confidence.
Yo, I mean, this dude's crazy.
Oozes confidence. He really toes that line between confidence and cockiness. He hasn't crossed it yet.
Fine line.
It's real close. He's right on the edge.
It's right there, but he's doing well, and he's building confidence through that speech that he's bringing to the table for the past few years. I'm pretty sure, as we hear people behind shouting, I'm pretty sure that this team will keep on growing on. And when he says that we want to make sure that Sherbrooke is not a leader in Quebec, it's a leader in Canada, we're like,
I believe him.
I mean, historically we don't, but when he says it, we're like, man, I'm a believer. I am. Let's do this.
I mean, like, it's crazy for me because now this is 2 weekends in a row where I've watched 2 impressive Sherbrooke teams. First, les Volontaires de Sherbrooke from Cégep doing really well at the CCAAs, and now the Variar here at uSports National Championships. If you had told me before the pandemic that I would have this much belief in Sherbrooke volleyball, I would have laughed in my own face.
Yeah, it's good for the sport, and it's good for the RSEQ, and I'm super happy to see Sherbrooke there because I was part of that conference for a while, and at a certain point you're sad to see only Laval and Montreal. It's good to see that Laval is missing the show.
For a while, it was only Laval.
Yeah, for a while it was only the Rouge et Or, and nothing against the guys in Quebec. They are a wonderful team, a wonderful pack, a wonderful crew. It's just that it's good to see them or Montreal, for that matter, not going to the championship and see Sherbrooke having so much success. It's just fun to the eye to see different colors, and it's not the most storied franchise, the most storied university, but I see them giving a round tomorrow against Alberta, and I really see them winning tomorrow. I don't think it's that far-fetched. I think it could be, let's be honest, it could be a 3-set thing or 4-set thing, even for Sherbrooke and even for Alberta. It's hard. I'm pretty sure, I'll put my hand in the fire here, I'm pretty sure that Trinity against McMaster is a 5-set game. But the other way around, the other semifinal, it could be a 3-0 thing.
I think that one's going to go 5 as well.
It could.
Because this one is going to be
would make sense.
It's going to be a heavyweight fight. Oh. It's going to be 2 heavyweights exchanging blows.
It's a Furry against Wilder kind of fight tomorrow.
100%.
Like 2 big guys just
boom, 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 boom. It is going to be a big one.
If we don't see that many errors on service, it's going to be a side-out thing.
Yeah.
We won't see that many long exchanges. It's going to be like, if your serve is in the other way, on the other side, and I can receive it correctly, boom.
Swings and blocks.
Right away, boom.
Swings and blocks, baby. That's what we're going to see.
Not just Jordan. Eslinga had a crazy game.
He started slow.
Yeah,
he started slow, but he picked it up.
Came strong
that
in the
4-4 shot that he has from
Yes.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
He's in the shade a little bit of Jordan, like for good reason, because Jordan was having a crazy game. He was utilized so much in that game, but Eslinga can do quite a work. So
I think sling it for sure.
Yeah, but the main thing is that if Cam Kern cannot give the ball to someone else than Canem, I mean, there are some big tall guys in Sherbrooke, starting with Julien Vanier, who is a big time center. He could be a game changer tomorrow. Take a look at number 10, Julien Vanier. If he's strong, I mean, it's going to be hard for Alberta to prevail easily in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think both of these semifinals that we have on deck tomorrow are going to be absolutely fantastic. You're the lucky man who gets to call it on the French side. Yep. I am unfortunately only doing the consolation ones.
It happens, man.
Yeah, it happens. I'm excited just to be in the gym and watch it. And,
you'll be part of the show another way. Well, you'll be there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Yeah. If you guys want to, I think ticket sales are going pretty well, but if you're in the area, you should come. You should come.
Even if you're not that much of a volleyball fan, well, I'm sure if you're listening to that,
if you're watching this right now.
But just talk to your friends that are not volleyball fans. It's just a crazy sport, and the excitement over here is palpable. It's going to be amazing. The environment, I really, really can't wait. And if McMaster can win the finals, it's going to be something.
If McMaster wins tomorrow, they win the championship.
You think? If nothing is stopping them.
If they get over the hump of beating Trinity Western, which they've never been able to do, if they get over the hump and beat Trinity Western, they will win nationals.
I'm not that confident in what you're saying, but I do see it. And I don't think you're that crazy, because that Dave Preston thing, retiring, the fans, we went over the Huskies, we went over Trinity Western. If that happens, it was the hardest. It was the hardest path to get to the finals.
100%.
And they controlled that game against Saskatchewan. If they control that game tomorrow, nothing's stopping that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if let's say on the other side Alberta wins in 3 and then McMaster wins in 5, they'll be a bit tired. It's not going to be the same game.
But they do have the earlier match.
They do.
right? So that also comes
help.
in,
It does help.
And I mean, that's why I am known for my spicy takes.
Yeah,
so.
well, I see it. It's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Like you thought it was way more crazy than what you're doing right now. When I was saying that Montreal had a chance against Trinity Western, and hey, they actually did.
They played a lot better than I expected them.
And it's sad that they didn't win at least one set.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They would deserve to win that third set. Absolutely.
I
let
hope
it
that
out.
these guys are really proud of what they did.
Mhm.
They gave a strong run against Trinity Western. They had to go with their A game, and that's what they did. Actually, Trinity was just better, technically.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Francis, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, man.
We will be back again for day number 2.
Yep, tomorrow
On the Burge.
Yep.
Peace.
Yep.